Welcome to Creature Geek, the special effects and makeup podcast from the fan and pro perspective. I am Len Peralta.
And I am Frank Ippolito.
And we have a great guest tonight. This is actually very, very exciting to have him on. He was our first guest ever on Creature Geek. But we could go way back to season 1. He was our actual first physical guest on the show.
We're just running out of people, so we're going to start repeating.
No,
we're going to get Shannon Shea on here like 8 more times.
He's going to be talking about something very, very exciting. Let's do the little intro here. Today's guest is the king of animatronics, creating characters for movie and TV for more than 20 years. His company, The Character Shop, cranked out tons of creatures for movies such as Aliens, Spaceballs, Snakes on a Plane, and of course a little movie that came out this past weekend called Ghostbusters. And we'll talk a little bit about that and some of the controversy about that, just to name a few. Please welcome to Creature Geek, Mr. Rick Lazzarini, the little chopper. Rick Lazzarini.
The little wood chopper.
The little wood chopper.
Yes.
What is that all about?
Oh, you didn't hear? Carlo Rambaldi, if anybody remembers who he is.
Yeah?
When I called him one time, he said, Lazzarini. And you know what your name means? And I said, no. And he said, that means the little wood chopper. So
there you go.
Some people know that I'm a little wood chopper.
You've just given us the name of the show.
That's the name.
Yeah.
So, like everybody that doesn't get credit in the movies that they've just worked on, we had Jose on right after Batman v Superman.
Right.
Now we have Rick Lazzarini on. You want to tell us about that? Let's just jump right the fuck on in.
Jump into it. Got involved with Ghostbusters and made some cool stuff for it.
Which, by the way, I am pissed that you called Len to work on Ghostbusters and you didn't call me.
Hey, you know what? I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I saw his post on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, if you're interested, let me know. And then that's how it happened. It was really as simple as that.
I kind of put out a call for illustrators, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes you pay attention to your ramblings on
yeah,
Facebook.
Maybe.
Sometimes it's about
maybe
real
follow
things.
me a little more closely, huh? It could be lucrative. Well, what do you want me to start at the end or the beginning? Because the end was what
What is this, a Tarantino podcast?
Yes. We'll have flashbacks in the middle, huh? You got to piece it together. One of my guys went and saw the movie before I did, and then he was pissed. There's no credit. We didn't get any credits. And so there was a bunch of people that worked on it. No credits, 0. You know,
how does that even work? You know, I mean, your work is not really in the film because it's all like it's
all CG'd over.
Yeah, it was all CG'd over. It was more for reference, I guess.
It was for lighting and for movement reference, right. and they absolutely duplicated the movements that we provided with our puppeteering and our movement and so forth. So it was a value, and they used it. And,
so did you go into it knowing that they were most likely going to replace?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't like an ADI, like you're crying, like FCG.
No, I knew going into it that it was going to be. I went into it also thinking maybe I can make this thing good enough where they won't do that, and cross my fingers. But that's okay if that's what happens. That's what happens. But then to get 0 credit, you know, you get a contract, and it says at producer's discretion. You know, the credit is. And so
there was a lot of people that were PAs and drivers and craft service that needed that credit.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure that they had a solid contract for it. They didn't, you know.
But they're on set every day with the producer. And
exactly.
And they gave them the good finger sandwiches in between the takes.
Right, yeah. And that's it. It's a discretion, and they didn't discern that it was important enough.
Huh.
Even though we worked, you know, before the cameras were rolling.
Yeah.
Came
on
set
twice to do this stuff.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is like kind of a greater question.
Yeah.
Is there, and this isn't like derogatory towards you or towards Jose and the Batman.
Yes, it is.
No. Yeah. Is there a greater problem of credit entitlement? You know, we as artists feel that we deserve this credit for our work.
Yes.
You know, there's been times where I'll put a picture up on Instagram, and the person that took the photo is like, hey, I took that photo. Like, why aren't I credited? It's like, it's the picture of my thing. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, or I mean,
Right.
You know, there's all this like kind of gray area. Like, yeah, photographers want to be credited in their pictures, and makeup artists want to have credit in their work on films and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like, is there this greater problem of some sort of entitlement of that? I mean, isn't it enough that we can say, yeah, I did that. That's cool.
Well, I think that everybody wants to get credit for what they've done, right? It would be nice, and I accept that I can't always get it.
I'm not talking specifically about like you in this instance. I'm just saying like in a broader picture. I mean, even back in the day, makeup departments, only the department head would get a credit sometimes. Like it was just like Perk Westmore.
That's true.
When it wasn't even him, that he was never even on that fucking show.
Yeah, but now you can say back in the day. But now in this day, there are 857, the
ILM phone book.
Yeah, visual effects people. Every visual effects company that worked on it, everybody, and then the babies that got born, they get, they get a credit in the thing.
There was one really nice credit on the Ghostbuster film. I don't. Did you see it yet?
Yeah.
Okay. At the very, very end, they gave a little like thank you to some like super fan. I guess some guy died or something like that.
Oh wow,
that was kind of nice.
That's nice
for the fan community.
Well, are you saying that person took it away from me?
That's where your credit went, dude. Take it up with the dead kid.
I don't feel sorry for this person. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
No. But I mean, maybe, I don't know. Are we entitled little brats?
No, we're not.
No.
No,
We're entitled to that fucking credit?
Not if you're the head of a department.
Yeah.
Not if you're the one who...
You're a vendor, dude.
You're the
Producers
one who...
call us vendors.
We're a vendor. Yeah.
We're a vendor.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm a vendor.
That's the thing that blows my mind, and this is something relatively new to me. And I only learned this because Frank, when he worked on Star Wars, was telling me the story about credit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is relatively new to me. Is that I would think that just even if they mentioned the character shop. Right? I mean, I can understand that I wouldn't get a credit. I mean, I wouldn't expect one. It would be great if I would. I wouldn't expect one.
Yeah.
But, and there are tons of other people that touch the product and you can't mention everybody. But even to work with a company and then not even have them mentioned as part of the production is
exactly.
sort
They
of
didn't have to
strange.
mention me. One single mention of the character shop would have been nice.
Yes.
See, I've negotiated credits before, and it is a thing that you negotiate for. And then even then, they will not give you everybody on your crew. They'll say you get 10 names, and then you have to do the King Solomon thing and go, okay, who do I pick? Who gets to be in here, and who do I have to leave out?
Yeah,
And
that
who's
happened
gonna
on
be pissed?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Phil didn't credit his daughter, and I got her credit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Yeah,
is she
Samantha
still talking
Tippett
to
worked
him?
on. Huh?
Is she still talking to him?
She lives with me.
Okay.
That's my girl's friend.
So I mean, somebody went on Facebook and said, you're supposed to negotiate this. Yeah, I know, I know that.
So you're an idiot, Lazzarini. Like,
But at the same time, when you've gone above and beyond, to deliver what they asked for, and the director likes you, you just get forgotten about. And there, like you said, there's PAs, there's other people. They could have fit us in, and it wouldn't cost that much more money. But that's just the thing. Animatronics gets kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
in the digital age.
Yeah, it was certainly slathered over with CG. Since we don't see it, and then maybe we don't have to give them credit. I don't know what the thought process is, or if there was one.
Well, the good news is that
We haven't spoiled
when
anything
you
yet in this
shared your
podcast.
post
We should.
over the weekend, it got a lot of shares. It got a lot of comments.
we put it up
a
on
lot
Tested.
of people shared it, and the people who worked on it, including myself in some small way, were mentioned thanks to you. So it was definitely brought to light, and so that's the good news. That's the
in
good
a
news.
small, tiny microcosm of Lazzarini's Facebook stretch.
Well, I mean, it got shared all over the place.
Yeah.
I just basically said, since they decided not to, and it was without any bitterness. I said, since they decided not to, since I dropped the ball,
You didn't drop the ball.
I
You're
didn't.
fine.
I
You're
didn't
all right.
negotiate hard enough. And
You're all right.
And had I negotiated harder, nobody would have worked on it. You know what I mean? It's like an either or, take it or leave it.
Yeah, right.
So I just went ahead and listed as many people as I could remember on it, and amazingly, it's been shared all over the place.
Yeah, you have a little page on your website that kind of details a bunch of the stuff, and we put that up. I think Norm put that up on Tested this morning.
Yeah, cool. Because people should know. People should know how hard people work on it, even if you don't see all of it.
Any of it.
Or any of it. No, you saw the movement. I told you saw the movement. And the light, we put lights on it, and that interactive lighting was there in the real Ecto one.
Yeah. So let's talk now.
Now we can start spoiling it.
Yeah, without spoiling it.
Yeah. If you've gotten this far in the podcast and you haven't seen Ghostbusters yet, stop.
Yeah.
Go watch Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we're gonna talk now about.
Yeah. Now we're just going to talk freely.
Yeah,
as if you've already seen it.
Just the whole process, go back. I think it was back last February that maybe you got the call.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that whole process. Let's go through that whole thing. And how did you get involved in the process?
I blew Paul Feig.
Okay.
One time.
That's always that's good advice for anybody out there.
Bring your knee pads is what the.
Now I had worked on this Ford Focus campaign. It was a 6-month long web campaign, and Paul was the head of that. He was directing it, and Ronald Binion, who's just genius puppeteer, right? He's so talented. He came along, and he and I puppeteered this creature for Paul Feig. And then when I heard in the trades, when I read that he was going to be doing a reboot, I emailed him and said, hey, remember we worked together on that campaign? And by the way, I worked on Ghostbusters 2, which
is the first time it killed the franchise.
Well, yeah. I think that it got a little less hate than this one, but I said I'd love to make some ghosts for you, do creature work for you, and he said, hey, sounds good. You're at the top of my list, and I said great. So didn't hear from him for a while. Would nudge him. I try to be careful about my nudging.
Yeah,
and then I think I was in Washington installing this huge scoreboard thing, big kinetic art piece. And they said, oh, yeah, we want to see you tomorrow, have a meeting here. And so I'm leaving on a jet plane and jetted back to L.A. and had a meeting. And it was a great meeting. Everybody was there in this room. Executive producer, production manager, AD, production designer, visual effects supervisor, and various other people, myself and Paul. And we, first of all, they said...
Kissed.
Huh?
We kissed.
We kissed. Because I said, remember that time that I...
Talk slow.
Because I was getting... Well, because I was being considered for this, I contacted Len and maybe a dozen other illustrators, and I said... And I couldn't say what I was working on, so I had to call it Toast Clusters. Or goat fluffers.
I think what you said was, I can't let you know due to an NDA what this is, but we will be drawing, proton packs, and there's some ghosts in this, and I'm like,
right, yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious what it was, but I couldn't, I couldn't say specifically, and so I had gotten a bunch of illustrators and a bunch of great designs together to show them, to wow them. Because I didn't know going in if they had been talking to anybody else, and they hadn't.
Now let me ask you this: like, when you get asked to present on a project like that, do they give you a little bit of money to put together designs, or do you do that out of your pocket?
Rarely do they ever give you money. Usually, I'll do stuff if I really want to be involved with something. I will do stuff on spec, and that's how I got Snakes on a Plane. It's how I got Operation Dumbo Drop. Lack of enthusiasm is how I have not gotten a lot of things, and it really takes you have to wow them sometimes, and convince them that you're enthused about it, and so that's on my dime. That's a gamble that I make.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I knew very well that I could go in there. They could go, okay, these all suck, and we've been talking to somebody else, and we like him better, and so goodbye.
Right.
And then I would have been, well, I've got a lot of cool ghost drawings, I guess.
Classic risk reward sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
But then we talked right away about, J.J. Abrams is embracing this whole practical thing. There's a big backlash against CG, and we want to go that route. The visual effects supervisor is telling me this. Paul's saying this, and I'm agreeing with him 100%. That we should do it. Hey, remember how Jurassic Park melded the two? Use the different tools, and now things seem to be getting over CG-fied, and we all agreed on that was too much. And I was assured that, the CG department didn't want to do everything. And a week goes by, nothing. Another week goes by. Hey guys, so what's going on? Oh yeah, well we got some bad news. They just chopped $15 million off the budget. And so there will be no animatronics. It's all going to be CG since we own Sony ImageWorks, and all that stuff doesn't really, quote, go on the budget, end quote.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Do you think that a lot of producers go into a project with the good intentions of doing it as the good, practical CG, and then just because of whatever the fuck it is,
sure,
they just have to.
Yeah, you have to. If someone tells you we're taking $15 million off of this, you have to take it out somewhere, and we're already the black sheep of the family, Why
don't they take it out of the finger sandwiches that they get it from Crafty in between setups?
Actually, it was the best Crafty. They did French hours on the film, and you could just stop and eat whenever you wanted, and they just had all of these food trucks come by and just give you this variety of food.
No shit.
It was awesome. It was awesome. They took my money, but it was good food.
They have a sushi chef on Constantine. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they would do sushi, pizza,
Nice.
Lobster for lunch.
Yeah. So that bummed me out. I went like, didn't we just have this conversation where, and they said, well, when they take $15 million out of your budget, what are you going to do? I said, okay.
Who are you going to call?
Yeah, who are you going to call? So I went like, okay, well, that it was like an emotional roller coaster, I'm very high, this is going to happen, and then boom, it drops out, and you pop the depression pills, right? Shake the whole bottle in your mouth. So then I went, you know what? Okay, screw this. I'm going on vacation. I hadn't been on vacation in such a long time.
Oh, is that when you took that big vacation?
I took a vacation. Went away, and I was out for 4 days when they said, by the way, Rick, we want you to make a Slimer for us. And I'm talking to them. I said, okay, tell me more. Well, we want a Slimer made, but we don't have much money for it because we don't have an animatronics department. We don't know how we're going to pay for it. Give me a break, right?
Yeah.
And
were they saying they want a Slimer in the way we want a Slimer for like a photo thing, or were they like, we want an animatronic, but we don't have any money? Which way was it?
Both, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Paul wanted it because he wanted to have the gals, the actresses, have something real in front of them so they could react to it. Yeah. He wanted to be able to direct the performance before he ever got to sitting down in a chair in front of a computer screen and watching, an animator. So he could dictate how wild or crazy that movement got.
Yeah.
But they're saying, okay, so we want one. We don't have a whole bunch of money, and we don't have a whole bunch of time for it, and we don't want to pay you a whole bunch of money because it's just for this movement reference, and we're going to cover it over anyway.
Now, let me ask you this. Yeah. Do you think that they picked Slimer just for nostalgia's sake? Because there was a bunch of other ghosts that felt like they were visible a lot more than Slimer.
Right.
Like Slimer was in for like 2 or 3 tiny little blips, it felt like.
Yeah.
But like that very first ghost that comes out of the basement, like that one was there a bunch, or the one in the subway tunnel was there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And even some of the big giant ones, like towards the end, like those guys were seen. I feel they had more screen time than Slimer. Do you think they just were like, we want Slimer for nostalgia's sake?
Well, yeah, you got it just the same way that you had Dan Aykroyd in for a very brief cameo.
Right.
Spoiler. And
everybody was in there. Even Harold Ramis
in there was Rick Moranis.
I know Harold Ramis is.
There's a bust.
But he was
Harold Ramis.
really very stiff
bronze bust
performance by Harold Ramis. I gotta say.
Yeah.
No Rick Moranis.
No, Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
No, he's not into it.
But well, it was absolutely nostalgic. But here's the deal, and here's something not a lot of people know. In an early draft of the film, Slimer had an origin story.
Really?
Yeah.
In the original film.
In this film.
In this film.
Really?
Okay.
In the rewrite that Feig and Katie Dippold wrote, there was in the early drafts that I got, Slimer didn't start off as this onion head goofy guy. He started off as a big fat ghost who they zapped with their things and they blew a leg off, and then they blew another leg off, and then he was like bilious green, and so it was going to be a reboot of Slimer as well. And I think somewhere along the line, someone said, if you can't reinvent him that much, or they decided they didn't want to. And so they just went back with when they did say Slimer, I said, so what do you want Slimer to look like? And they said, try to make him look as much like the original Slimer as you can, given the time. So I was still on vacation. I was like, you know what? I don't want to go away from vacation. I was ATVing up in Mammoth. And so I started Steve Blandino and Natalie Knudsen. And I said, take that stand that's in the shop and just start, do a styrofoam around there and start slapping clay for the body and the head. And they did it. And in like 2 days, they were nearly done. It was crazy. Shit. Yeah. Then Wayne Anderson came in, and he helped finish that up. We got approval on it. Made a sculpture, made the molds, made the skins and so forth, made the animatronics. And I think 3 or 4 weeks tops, with Ron Binion in the costume. So when we went and shot, and so we were there for about a week and shot a couple nights. And again, in and out of the Ecto, we were there at the overturned hot dog stands, throwing hot dogs into his mouth and then turning and running and jumping into the car. And then while we were there, eating all that great food from Crafty, they said, hey, can you make us a Mrs. Slimer? I was like, okay, yeah, this has turned out to be something cool. So we wrapped up, turned around, went back, made a Mrs. Slimer, and you can see that on our website. Although it's a little bogged down right now. I've got low bandwidth pipes, and everybody's trying to take a look at it. But she's like Slimer, but she's lighter green. She's got a lavender bow in her hair.
And she has hair. Yeah.
Yeah. She's got like a green ponytail, lavender eyeshadow, big lashes, lipstick, really gaudy lipstick, and then red fingernails. Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah. And that was, it's funny because when we did Slimer, they just said, make him look like the original Slimer. They didn't send us any information, any reference. So we had to kind of like Google image search and so forth.
Why didn't you call up Steve Johnson?
I did, but I think he was drinking at the time.
He was busy.
He was busy drinking.
Oh, jeez.
Hi, Steve.
You could have. Did you hear he told his story about sculpting Slimer on here?
No.
About a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He read the chapter of his book about sculpting Slimer.
Oh.
And when he was sculpting Slimer, the ghost of John Belushi visited him.
I did hear something about that.
Oh, you should give it a listen. It's
okay. And you're asking me why I didn't call him.
Yeah.
I already have a person with a big head working at my shop, and that's me. So,
what did you think of the movie?
What did I think of the movie? I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was funny. There were some scary parts. I thought I'd seen different scripts, and I thought all of them were funny. They edited it differently than I expected, so there's a lot of unexpected stuff. And I thought, you know what? It stands on its own. If no one had ever made the first Ghostbusters, this thing would stand on its own as a fun film. Everybody's comparing it to this other thing that was there and bashing it. It's not. Listen, it's not Citizen Kane.
Right.
It's not the world's most awesome movie. 30 years ago today, Aliens came out. I worked on that, so that's why.
All right.
Yeah, that's why I'm a crabby old man now.
You're gonna go home and cry because you're not working on the new Aliens.
Yeah,
or are you?
Took it to Australia. No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's a whole Australian crew building all that stuff.
know.
It's not even
Australian tax credits. Thank you.
There we go.
But that I think is a kick-ass movie.
Anybody working on Alien over there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Prometheus,
Good job. We can't wait to see.
Prometheus Resurrected.
And here's the here's the deal. The day before, even before the day they wrapped, just the other day they said, "Oh, we wrapped on the creature effects on Alien, whatever they're calling it." And I'm going, "You fuckers didn't have an NDA? I waited for like a year before I could talk about. I had to wait until Ghostbusters released to talk about it. I couldn't tell anybody what I was working on. And then it's like, oh yeah, hey mate, we just finished Aliens." And I'm like, you didn't have an NDA? How come? Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't talk about Star Wars.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the hardest year of my life.
Oh my God. I want to tell people.
Yeah.
You know, I want to toot my horn.
Yeah, and then a year later, you're like, oh yeah, I did that a year ago. I don't give a shit. I did this thing a year ago. No.
Did you see the movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's all right. I don't think it deserves the hate that everybody's giving it.
I think the people that are hating are just elitist fucks.
Yeah. And there's bandwagon, you know.
Yeah.
They want to get on that hate wagon.
I think people mistake what a movie is meant to be. Like I don't think that they went making this Ghostbusters to be like, you know, what let's see.
Disrespectful.
It's not trying to be disrespectful, and it's not, you know, just because they're making a reboot or a whatever. Like you can't go watch a movie like Ghostbusters and expect like Citizen Kane level deep storytelling and layering and all this stuff. It's like, you want to go see some people having some one-liners, some goofy looking ghosts, some shenanigans with a proton pack.
Yeah. It's a popcorn
and a big giant
film.
ghost. Yeah,
Right.
It's just like when you go see, you know, the Furious Fast and Furious,
right?
You don't go see that for anything other than ridiculous car chase. I want to see a car jump off a building.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll go see. You don't go see that for like the
you know what?
romance.
I want nobody to go and see any more Fast and Furious movies because those they violate the laws of physics. Those cars, and it's not good.
Yeah,
right?
Those are the same assholes that are probably complaining about Ghostbusters. Like, it's okay. It's not horrible.
You know, people, why would they
okay.
do that? It's like, well, I'll tell you what. If you take the original Ghostbusters and you put it into theaters, you're not going to get that as good as it was. You're not going to get a $46 million opening weekend, are you?
You know what, though? It didn't live up to its projection. It was projecting $100 million opening weekend.
What did it do?
Well,
what did it do?
who was doing the projection?
Whoever I heard on the news.
Yeah, no. So Sony was projecting a modest $40 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sony itself.
Did they project it after?
No. They projected
After
it
the
before.
weekend was over.
But then, if you look, if you Google Ghostbusters box office, you'll see varying opinions on, and of course the rival studios say, "Oh yeah, so that's a flop," you know, because it has to hit. It still can be because it costs $144 million to make.
Yeah.
It costs $100 million to advertise and market.
P&A, yeah.
Okay. And so now we're up to $250 million.
Yeah.
Whatever you get at the box office, you only get half of that.
Yeah.
Because the theaters get half of that, and they charge you big monies for popcorn too.
Oh, I went to dinner first. I went to the Yard House, had myself a big salad.
So they're saying, you know, you might need to have 350 million, 400 million worldwide, and everybody's, you know, dashing that. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, there's plenty of films.
It might be hard for it to get that worldwide because the foreign markets usually like things with less talking, more exploding.
You're right.
And they don't get comedy. Comedies don't do really well in foreign markets because, you know, like British comedy is different than American.
Yeah.
Definitely the giant Chinese market that's there, they don't get women and proton packs like
right. And
well, like
that's
a tough.
China's apparently not going to let the movie into their country in the first place.
Really? Yeah. I didn't hear that. Women?
It was weird. It was like China bans Ghostbusters was the story, and I'd have to look into it. And it's like, Why? Because they said, we don't think people would be interested in it. Oh, would you not? Would you not want to let them decide for themselves? Don't you have a democracy there? Oops.
I don't think they have a democracy. This isn't Russia. Is this Russia?
What is this, Soviet Russia? No, it's China.
Yeah.
What other good questions do you have for me?
No, these aren't questions. Before coming, I rarely ever do any thinking before a podcast.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I was like, what other films are like women lead characters in, like strong women lead movies?
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
I was trying to specifically stay genre.
Oh, okay.
Sci-fi, fantasy, horror.
Aliens.
Aliens is pretty much on the top of my list.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get off genre, you can go Mary fucking Poppins.
That's slightly off genre. Yeah.
I mean, that's a strong female lead. Mary
That's right.
Poppins.
Oh, she's practically perfect in every way.
Hey, that was a lot of CG too. Barbarella, that's all.
Wait, they're making, and I believe that they're remaking Mary Poppins.
Are they?
Who's going to be Mary Poppins?
Have they announced? I don't think they have.
I don't know. They redid Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big CG mess fest. I heard stories that originally they were trying to do the Beast as a makeup and blah 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 and
that never works.
The director was like all for it.
Yeah.
And Disney was just like, this isn't a stage production. It's a big studio. We're going to do it in a computer. That kind of an attitude.
Why use actors at all? Why not just use CG?
Why not have a makeup that people can interact with and then get some lighting reference and then...
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's silly.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's coming out next summer.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster. Hunger Games. Terminator.
Right. Sure. Sarah Connor.
Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Mm-hmm.
Those are female leads for the most part.
Yeah.
Kill Bill. What else we got? I don't know.
Well, it was. I think.
Star Trek Voyager. Captain Janeway.
Yes, she was a female woman. One of the things I saw. Everybody's going, "Oh, you destroyed my childhood." Right?
You killed it.
And then somebody responded. They said, well, the new one doesn't give us any men to look up to.
Yeah, it does. Thor was amazing.
Right. You can look up to him.
I can look up
and drool at his hunkiness.
It's very interesting because I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I didn't love it. Sort of the way you felt.
Yeah.
And I have a very controversial take on Ghostbusters.
About Thor?
No, not about Thor. Just about the original Ghostbusters, because I saw the original Ghostbusters when I was 13. In 1984, I saw it, and I'd heard so much great things about it. And when I went to see it, I wasn't laughing. I didn't find it funny back then. And I think that, and this is very controversial, I think that the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, gets a pass, in my opinion, because of its pedigree. Because of who's in it. You have Harold Ramis, Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, all these great people working on it, and you expect it to be great. And it's sort of like, I looked at it as the Emperor's New Clothes of movies.
Right.
Because it's like, wow, isn't this great? It's terrific. Now, I don't have anything against Ghostbusters. I think it's great. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
But as I was watching this film, I found the same sort of feeling as I watched the original one in the theater back in 1984, that I wasn't laughing. I mean, there were some funny parts in it, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts from laughing so hard. So I think that, to me, felt like they had hit the same note from the original movies, if you get what I mean.
Are you on antidepressant drugs, Glenn? Maybe you just can't find joy.
No,
maybe you reach this plateau and you just go, okay.
I know. I hate
what's going on
that.
is that there's a pressure system in Cleveland going on right now. It's the Republican National Convention is going on there. So Norm is suppressed underneath a cloud of
that's
hot
okay.
air.
I've heard other people say, look back at the original Ghostbusters. It wasn't the greatest movie either.
Right.
But it's legendary and it's built up, and it's also interesting. Who was it made for? It was a little more risque. I think, was there a bare breast?
No,
in the original
Not a
Ghostbusters?
bare
not in
breast.
Ghostbusters.
I mean, there was some cleavage.
Some cleavage, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little side
and
boob.
it was aimed a little older than I think a 13-year-old. Whereas when I went and saw this one, all of the trailers were for kids' movies.
No, I didn't even get that. All the trailers in the screening that I saw was like romantic comedy.
Yeah, Bridget Jones' Baby.
For the women's.
Yeah, Bridget Jones' Baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell happened to that woman's face?
And
oh my God.
I think she looks better.
No, she doesn't look. She looks like a monster now.
No.
She looks like that makeup that Tony G did on Charlize Theron in that movie Monster.
That's mean. That's plastic surgery shaming.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Says the two guys that don't miss a whole lot of meals.
That's right. Yeah. Right. I think that I think that this will help. Help her.
This is a therapy session.
I would still be with her. So. Yeah. That would probably make her feel a lot better to know that you dissed her, and that I would be. I
don't know. So it's just it's weird looking.
Okay. Well, maybe what she had done made her look better than what she would have if she hadn't.
I wonder. You know how. I don't know.
We're getting into some dangerous territory here.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna lose all of our female demographic on this.
Very
podcast.
Dangerous.
After we were just championing.
We were just championing all the wonderful women movies.
That's what guys do.
I heard another thing. I was listening. I think it was like NPR or something. It was the movie critic person talking about this movie, and they said to take a movie like this and put so much pressure and expectation on it being like this all female cast. It's not fair to a movie because it's got such a fan like give and take, like such a divided fan base.
Yeah.
And then also, if the movie does great, then the studios are going to go, it was a fluke. And if it doesn't do good, they're going to go, see, all female cast. That's what's the problem.
Right.
Which is again why I looked up like what are some other great movies with strong female roles. Right. And I don't ever think about like the Terminator or Aliens, and I don't go, yeah, it's a chick.
Yeah.
Like I never think of it. It's like, no, that's a great movie with great characters. Like,
yes. Right.
You know?
I don't see gender when I see a great movie.
Or color,
Fury Road.
Or race or creed.
Fury Road.
Fury
Very
Road.
Strong female lead in that movie.
Yeah, Mumbles didn't do anything in there. It was all females.
That's right.
Yeah, he just got strapped to a car and mumbled a lot.
Did you see it with your respective significant others? Did you see Ghostbusters with your significant others?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did they like it? Did they like it?
My wife was screaming, laughing.
Okay.
She's louder than everyone else at the theater in her reactions. So she enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I'm a dummy. I kind of like everything. I can kind of find like, it was good. It was all right, just about anything.
Yeah.
Sam is a tippet, and she is like bred to dissect things.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's tricky. Like our post-film watching conversations are usually going, oh yeah, it was all right. What are you talking about? It was horrible. It's like,
did she like it?
It wasn't horrible. I don't think she liked it.
No. My wife loved it. I was very surprised. She went in not expecting to like it at all. She thought she wasn't excited to go see it.
Yeah.
And she walked out of this. She said, I really like that film.
That's awesome.
She thought Kristen Wiig, I feel the same way. Kristen Wiig sort of kept that. Well, actually, they all did in their own respects, but Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy kept that movie rolling.
Was Kristen Wiig wearing a wig the whole film? I couldn't, like, her hair looked like one of those
Wiig
bad
wearing
cosplay.
A wig?
It looked like one of those bad cosplay wigs.
I don't know if she was wearing a wig.
Well, she was supposed to be this prim. Remember what she was wearing in the first place?
Yeah.
And so she's a little not really fashion
It just didn't look
conscious.
natural.
I don't know. It could have been a wig. It could have been a wig that Kristen Wiig was wearing. Yeah.
I was just distracted by that in any scene that she was in, trying to figure out if it was a wig or not.
Who was it? She looked pretty hot when she had the white hair, though.
You thought so?
Yeah, because I cruise a lot of mature sites.
Gets lonely over there in Casa Lazzarini.
Do a little wood shopping, if you know what I'm talking about.
All right.
So what's up for you now? What's going? What can you
Anything
talk?
you can
Are
talk
you in
about?
NDA now, or?
Oh, I'm under so many NDAs. What am I doing right now? You know, I also run the Animatronics Institute.
Can I come take a class?
You can come take a class.
Is it going to cost me a lot of money?
Where is the Animatronics?
Of course, it is going to cost you a lot of money. It's at my same facility. I run the character shop there, and I run the Animatronics Institute. And people come from all over the world to places like Fresno and Cleveland, Colombia, China, England, and
just to learn your mystical ways.
I teach them. Yes, I show them the feng shui of animatronics.
Nice.
Huh.
Yeah,
I do want to take the class. I'll bring my own machines.
Oh yeah, lug them over.
Yeah, I'll lug over the bridge.
People pick their different projects, and they're there for different amounts of time. So I do that in between stuff, and I have like a bunch of bids out.
Anything you can call me to work on?
Maybe
because now the lens works for you on something.
I'm always available, Rick. You can always call me.
I'm never available, but
what do I got? I'll
do your animatronics for you.
I've got a very cool.
I got a Bridgeport here.
I need to train you first, though. I need to train you on the machines.
All right.
Take your money, and then I'll pay you money.
Ah,
yeah.
I get it. I see how it works.
But actually, you know, one of my students, former students, Natalie Knudsen.
She came and helped me on something once.
That's right.
She helped me sew some clothes.
Yeah, and she helped sculpt Slimer. And then it was funny. Mike West was another former student of mine. He was taking classes at the time. Then we got Ghostbusters, and he had made a very cool pair of animatronic eyes. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey, Mike, can I buy those from you? Can I buy those from you and then incorporate them into the Slimer thing, and then pay you to work on it? And then when we're done with it, then you go." I stop paying you, and go back to working. He said yes, so that's how the eyes got in the head.
Oh, nice. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you are? This is a real question now. Do you feel that you are single-handedly trying to keep this art alive? Do you think
single-handedly?
It feels like it. It feels like a lonely battle, right? The reason I'm doing the Animatronics Institute is because you can walk into an industry party, and for every 20 people who say they sculpt, they mold, they do prosthetics, and so forth, you're going to have maybe one person who says, "Oh, I do animatronics and mechanics and electronics," and
it's a dying art.
It's a dying art, it's for sure. I'm a dinosaur, and I know it.
But by doing the Animatronic Institute, you are sort of giving people, I think, you know what I mean, you're giving people the opportunity to keep this art alive.
Yeah, that's true. My idea is to train them in this, and then they can either work for me or work for other people.
Release them out.
Release them out, yes. And if they come back, then they're butterflies.
Yeah.
But no, as a matter of fact, I think Vincent Guastini has got Mike West working over there, and I think it's important that he works at my place, he works at Vincent's, works at all these other places.
No, nobody should work at Vincent's.
Vincent, he didn't mean that.
He doesn't listen to this podcast.
You know, work at your place, whatever, because there's a cross-pollination that happens. The different freelancers that we hire, you know, come from different places, and they share hints and tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So it is a dying art. It's getting less respect.
I respect you.
Thank you.
Well, this is a good thing.
Put me in the credits of the podcast. Will you do that?
Yeah.
Can we make a contract and sign something?
No, we can't. You can't.
It's under my discretion.
Yeah, we won't even mention who you are as a guest. We won't
right?
even
Yeah.
say.
You're gonna black out my eyes, right? Put a voice changer.
No. We're gonna leave you there. We're just not gonna credit.
You're not gonna credit me.
Every mention
Damn
of
it
your
again!
name.
Yeah.
Every
So
mention of your
anytime
name is going to be bleeped out.
anytime a movie comes out now, if your company, like this is to everybody listening,
Right.
If your movies come out and your company's gotten gypped, give us a call. We'll let you come out and rant about it.
Yeah, brag about it.
That's right.
You can go burn your bridges.
Now, see, but I'm not. When it came out, actually, the way I put it, it was not a rant against it. It was just,
No.
It was just an oversight, and I thought, well, if they're not going to be courteous, then I will, and I'm gonna give that list.
Are you going to take out an ad in like Cinefx or one of those?
That's what I should do.
Yeah,
that would be an even more right thing to do.
Cinefx or Prosthetics Magazine.
Yeah.
I love Prosthetics Magazine.
Right. Yeah.
Neil Gorton's. Don't bother with Makeup Artist Magazine. Only YouTubers read that.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Right.
Yeah. It's no secret that I'm not a fan of that.
Well, Facebook's cheaper.
Oh.
Yeah. And
yeah,
see,
you know what else is?
I'm
you know
like
what
the
else
studio.
You know
How much is it going to cost for me to put these credits out?
Yeah, a couple lines on there that cost celluloid. No, they don't even put it on celluloid anymore. It doesn't cost anything. It's hard drive space.
Yeah, I'm trying to. That's why I made the joke. I said, somebody, how could they do that? I said, well, they only had 144 million, and it costs like maybe $80 a name in the credits. So we don't want to go crazy with the way we're spending our money here.
No. They're living hand to mouth. These studios.
But then people were going, well, and there were some angry responses. Well, screw them, screw Sony or whatever else, and I'm taking those out because it's not.
That's not the tone that you want to set.
No, I'm thanking people. I'm trying to do a nice thing, and so I want to keep that thread nice. I will be unnice in plenty of other threads.
That is true. If you are not following Rick Lazzarini on Facebook, you must, or even sometimes on Twitter. You do more on Facebook though.
Yeah, the Twitters are fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun to read.
If I can say my shit in 140 characters or less, it'll go on Twitter. Otherwise, it gets dumped on Facebook.
Yeah, I still love seeing all your responses to like dingus production companies that ask you for ridiculous stuff.
Oh, I don't know what.
Those are my favorite.
I get more than anyone else, I think.
That's my favorite
or nobody
stuff.
else is taking the time to describe them.
I got to imagine people like Robert Devine over here at Anatomorphics. I'm sure he gets just as many of those kind of things. People that are on that like call list of commercial producers.
Yeah.
I think those are the people that always get the ridiculous requests like that.
Right. They have made me tear my hair out.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
Cut it for our video viewers. Yes.
For the video viewers, look, we're out in the shop now. I'm not in my office.
Yeah. I used to have luxurious locks, but they drove me to. Yeah. No, it was the summer.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see yours. Can I touch your fuzz?
Yeah, go for it. I got it.
This is special for our video viewers as well.
Yeah, you guys get to see us touch each other's
Frank's head.
Lots of touching going on over here. I got a couple people working over there at some table. You guys come over here. You want to touch Lazzarini's head? No?
No takers.
Yeah.
How much money do I have here?
Well, the last time we had you on, we had your words of wisdom, the piece of advice you give to young pro getting started.
No, all right.
Has that changed? Do you have any other more new words of advice for anybody?
New words of wisdom?
Yeah.
Negotiate for credits.
There we go.
Or be aware that you will regret it later. But then here's the deal.
Or just don't be so goddamn entitled for a credit for everything.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. No, pick your battles. Right? That's not a battle I wanted to pick. I figured, okay, if they give me credits, great. If they don't, then I'll give people credit later myself, which is what I did.
There you go.
Win-win. Win-win.
Yeah.
Everybody still worked on it.
And I don't want people to trash the movie, even if they don't like it. What I do encourage them to do is to maybe not see it in the theater so much. Wait until it comes out on pay-per-view or Blu-ray or something, because that's when my residuals kick in.
There you go.
See? Now, go see it then. Yeah.
It's a residual deal.
It's a residual deal.
Oh, everybody's leaving. They're sick of listening to you.
Yeah. I have that effect on Facebook, too.
I thought
people,
you just deleted
the friends, your friends drop from the list. Shut up, asshole.
I think Doug Stewart thinks that you deleted him.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I blocked him.
Oh, yeah, Doug was working for me the other week.
Oh, was he? Yeah. Did he cry a tear?
Yeah, he's like, I think Lazzarini doesn't like me. He
I don't
deleted
think he dropped me on Facebook. God damn, then my life is over.
Was he just being too grumpy?
I think he was just being too trollish too often.
Oh, yeah.
He's really
Doug's
good
a
at
troll.
that.
Yeah,
I got to give him kudos.
Yeah, he's pretty trolly.
And so one day I went, I don't have to see this. It's my Facebook feed. Beep, you're gone. And I know that people do that to me because I have a plug-in. I have a plug-in, people. If you drop me, I'll fucking know. And I will come after you.
Oh, jeez.
How dare you?
And by the way, just go to the character shop and be, part of the Institute, and he'll be very, very friendly with you after he drops you.
Exactly.
Oh, he'll be friendly with you while you're paying him, and then he'll drop you.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you're done.
Doug, if you come to the Animatronics Institute, and
I'll add you for that week or two that you take the animatronics.
come on, and I will treat you very, very nicely. Yeah. I'll listen to everything you have to say.
Well, congratulations to you, Rick, for your work, quote unquote, on Ghostbusters.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Prove that you worked on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, prove it, dude.
Prove it.
Prove it. Your name's on
You
the
made
credits.
what is somebody said? Oh God, Jeremy Sellenfriend said the dancing Slimer. The final mechanical test before he said, "Great cosplay. Looks just like the CG one in the film." Fuck. Thank you.
Can we take that down to San Diego Comic-Con this week?
We should. Marky Makeup suggested that.
I don't know who that is.
Yep. He does a lot of body painting and makeup on people. He worked for me a long time ago. But why do you have vendor or pro passes or anything?
I'm going down there with the tested group. Actually, this is airing on Friday. So yesterday, you guys will all have probably seen my post of what I did. I made the realistic Lego man. The things that are.
I saw that over there. That's is it?
It's a mask, and I got hands. I'm gonna paint those tomorrow, and then I'm gonna walk through Comic-Con over to the Lego booth.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
It's really creepy.
Fleshy Lego heads.
Yeah, there'll be a video coming out untested about that. I think
That's
comes
gonna
out
be
next
great.
week or
I
something.
I would take the Slimer suit to Comic-Con.
Take it down there. We should cram Adam Savage in it. Let him walk around Comic-Con.
There you go.
Want it?
and then somebody from Sony will go, "That's ours."
Have him arrested.
Let's do it. We'll go put Adam in it.
He'd love it.
Yeah.
Could I get down there?
Yeah.
Do they still? I thought that they ran out
We'll
of passes
figure something
early.
out.
Earlier,
There's always a way.
I'll tell them that I worked on Ghostbusters, and they'll say, "Prove it."
Yeah. And then you pull out the ghost the Slimer and
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's your passport right
That's
there.
it. You're not going to let me in? Fine. You don't get to see this. Fine. I know how to negotiate hard now.
Yeah, you do. Right to the front of the craft service line.
Give me that sushi. Actually, the sushi one sucked a little bit.
Oh, really?
I have to say that.
Oh.
If I have one complaint about working on it,
Jeez.
well, I have about 50, but if I had one complaint. Here's the way I describe my experience on Ghostbusters. It was like being put into an emotional washing machine and then kicked down a hill.
Did you cry? Was there ever a moment you cried?
Was that I was butthurt?
Yeah.
No, I think I probably just smashed stuff. That's the way I react.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
And that's why he needs a new Bridgeport, ladies and gentlemen.
So at this point, you may be at San Diego Comic-Con. We don't know yet, but
We'll see.
We'll see
when
if
this
I can talk
airs,
him into it.
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
congratulations on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for making me be a part of it. It was a huge thrill, and hopefully more. Hopefully, down
More
the road.
will follow. You always got to hope for that.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Thanks for having me on
Yeah,
the show.
thanks for taking the time to come over and visit a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you have the list, Frank, or no?
What? Oh, the Patreon list. No, let's record that after.
Okay.
I don't have the list.
We don't even have to do that. But I think didn't we do it earlier this month? We already did it once, right?
I don't.
He's pulling it up right now. Well, while you're
No,
doing
I'm not
that,
pulling. No, I'm not pulling. I gotta. My computer's all like wanky in the middle of the shop. I don't. No.
well, let me do
We'll
the
do it.
plugs at the end here. Go to follow Rick Lazzarini on
Twitter?
on Twitter, on Facebook. Go visit the character shop where you can see the write up about the new Ghostbusters and everything there, all the photos and everything else, which is really, really cool. And then if you want to visit Frank and I, frankippolito.com or lenperalta.com. We're both Frank Lippolito and Len Peralta on Twitter. Thank you to Testa.com for giving us a home. Go ahead and visit us at creature-geek.com. And if you're a big fan of the show and you want to support us financially, go to patreon.com/CreatureGeek. Throw us a few bucks.
That will ensure that I forget to pull up the list next time.
So they can pay their guests.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Rick Baker wanted $20.
I have a couple of them. I know a few of
Gas
them.
money.
I don't know all of I don't know everybody. I don't have the updated list, but a couple of them are Donato Sinocchio, Raymond Stanek, John Cripps, and
yeah.
I forget the other guys.
You're not even giving the fancy executive producer ones. You're pulling from the $15, the peanut gallery.
Oh, sorry about that. We are so not ready for this show.
Edit it
Yeah,
in, you know. Edit in all the...
I've been working all day. I got to get back to work, too, as soon as I kick him out.
Yeah, same here. So anyway, thanks a lot, Rick. Thanks for being on.
Thank
and
you.
We will see you on the next episode of Creature Geek in the month of August.
Next month.
Take care.